Welcome to Dark. I'm Justin McConnell, one of the programmers here, and we've got a hell of a show tonight. And one special treat we've got is a lot of the cast and crew, including Don Mancini, Fiona Dourif, Tony Gardner, a pile of people flew themselves in to be here with you tonight. In fact, a number of them waited till tonight to actually see the film, so they're seeing it for the first time, even though they worked on it here with you tonight. So before any of that, I got a little bit of housekeeping. Let's thank our sponsors, Cineplex Events and Scotiabank Theatre. And an even louder applause for our volunteers. Nice. Okay, so if you enjoyed the film tonight, make sure that you vote for it for our Audience Choice Award. Tweet about it, talk about it, do whatever you need to do. But I'm not going to spiel on this too much. After the film's done, you can go hang out with the cast and crew and drink at the Office Pub just down the street. Your badge, if you've got one, actually gives you a discount on food. We're going to be there. We've got a 4 a.m. liquor license, so you can get nice and drunk till the wee hours in the morning and have a really great time. Now, you're sitting in the audience now while the lights are on. If you've got a friend who wanted to be here tonight, but it was sold out, there's actually a midnight screening and there's still tickets left, so tweet or text and whatever before the lights go down and tell them, get the hell here, because it's going to be a really good time. Without further ado, though, we have a short film, 2 short films preceding this tonight. The first one is a Canadian short from director Peter Genoway and producer Ryan Rainey. If they'd like to come up, it's called Masks. Come to the front, guys. Even louder than that. So tell us a little bit about your film.
Well, Masks, I mean, here for slasher night, I think you're going to enjoy this film. It's about a masked killer who stalks a bunch of actors in a haunted theater.
Oh, nice. Do you have anything to say, Ryan? No? Okay.
Nothing to add?
Just a pretty face. All right, get off the stem cake.
Well, can I just say we have some of our actors and some crew members in the crowd tonight, and just a round of applause.
If you like the shorts, make sure you come back tomorrow. Is it at 4 o'clock? Tomorrow for the short film program. It's amazing this year. Thank you so much. Enjoy their film.
Thanks After Dark, and thanks to the programmers. Enjoy.
All right. Now, one thing I'm going to ask before I bring some people up is if you've got a device that bleeps, boops, a phone, rotor flare, something like clothes, turn it off, get rid of it. Don't distract people. Let them enjoy the film. But let me introduce the man, the legend, the creator of the Chucky franchise, Don Mancini. And Charles Lee Ray! Hello, Toronto!
Feels like homecoming, because we made Bride of Chucky here almost 20 years ago. We love Toronto, we love Canada. So Justin, Adam, Meg, everyone from the Toronto After Dark Film Festival, thank you so much for having us. This is really special for us because this is a Canadian movie, even though it's technically American. It feels Canadian, just as Curse did. We shot both of them in Winnipeg. Awesome cast and crew. And many of them are here tonight, and I love them very much. I'm so glad they're all here. Oh, I gotta say something about my shirt. It's really important people understand it. It's Chucky on Friday the 13th. It's cool, right? I had this planned for a month. Did I send it to you?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that's great. So, also, check this out. Who made the jacket? Well, let's see. Funny that you asked. It was designed by Pam Skies, the founder of Juicy Couture. Actually, so nice that random person in the audience asked that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming. It means a lot. We love that we're able to watch the movie together with all of you guys on the big screen, which is, of course, how movies like this really should be seen. So this is a blast for us, so we're really grateful that you're here. And now I think I've hit everything, and now I want to introduce someone who the second short you're going to see is about us. This is about life in the world of Child's Play, directed by the daughter of the engineer behind the puppetry, Tony Gardner, Miss Kira Gardner.
Give a big round of applause, come on.
Hello. Oh, okay.
Thanks,
Hi.
Dawn.
This is my first time in Canada. Wow. Which is really surreal for me because as I grew up, my dad actually was here for a lot of Child's Play movies, and I don't know if you've seen it, Hairspray. So Canada was like this big mystical land that took my dad away from home, and I was like, ugh! But now I'm here, and it's wonderful, and you people are amazing, and the Canadian cast of Cult of Chucky is a second family, and I just wanted to take the time to thank the people who helped me put this documentary together. My crew couldn't be here, but Scott Marino and Andrew Walton, and my mom for hosting 3 college kids for like a month, and 2 boys who were very messy. And my lovely dad, who I can't see because I'm blinded, there he is. What's up? For always having the biggest support from me, and Dawn and David and Fiona for just putting their time aside and really believing in a student short. And by the way, this is the first short from my film school to ever make it into this film festival. So yeah. So that's cool. And the film's on the Blu-ray DVD, so you should buy my movie and their movie. And it came out on my birthday, so this is a really cool birthday event. I'm not trying to make it on me, but thank you. What?
Wait, I forgot something.
Okay.
Stay for after the credits. There's like a cool Easter egg after the credits. Sorry, bye.
After credit scene. Okay, we're going to have a great Q&A with the cast and crew at the end of all this. So without further ado, have a great time, and remember, don't fuck with the Chuck! As people are coming up, I might as well get you to introduce yourself and say what you did in the film, and that way we'll get past that quickly, and I'll just pass the mic down.
I'm Michael Terrio. I was Dr. Foley.
I'm Grace County. I played Claire. I was Mindy's bad date, Rachel. I'm Allie Dupont, and I played Nurse Ashley.
She looks so different. I'm Fiona. I was the girl.
I'm Tony, I was the puppet.
I'm Doug, I was the assistant director.
He was the whole thing. He was the whole thing.
Hey, I'm Adam, I was Mike, Mark. My name is Zach Santiago, I played Nurse Carlos.
I'm Marina Stevenson-Kerr, and I was Angela.
I'm Don Mancini. I'm just here for the popcorn.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to ask a couple questions before we turn it on to the audience, because I'm sure you've got a lot to ask. The first question is pretty simple. Where did the idea for the multiple Chuckies come from? How did you sort of expand the idea like that?
Well, it was something I'd wanted to do for a long time, actually. I mean, from my script for the original movie had a sequence that didn't make it into the franchise until the second movie, The Factory. And I don't know, I wrote it in the mid-'80s when, after Gremlins had come out, so I think, just the idea of a bunch of them. I actually wanted to do more, this is like all we could afford. But it's also just because this movie is, meant to be a mind fuck, and it's, the whole idea was that it's designed to hopefully make you feel like you're going crazy, like Nika is, and so like multiple Chuckies helps underline that idea. It's just kind of like mind-boggling. Plus, it was just, I just always want to give the actors, it's especially when you have a franchise, you're working with actors more than one time, and you get to know their talents, you get to know them as people. I've done this now with Adam, who got killed by Jennifer Tilly in the last movie. Adam's actually the first person in the franchise who has the distinction of being killed by both Chucky and Tiffany. And Allie also had a small role in Curse of Chucky at the end. She was the delivery girl. So I want to give the actors different things to do. So it's like it'd be fun to give, throw this at Brad and have him make little distinctions between the 3 Chuckies, which was a lot of fun, particularly the little one we call Buzzcut on side. We had so much fun doing that. Anyway, and it was that was like scene 74. It was the big bear in the schedule.
Doug will attest. And I was rewriting it constantly, all through pre-production, all through the shoot, because I just felt like just didn't get it right. I think initially I was afraid of making it too goofy, and then it was like kind of flavorless. So I mean, it seems like it works. There is a small, my voice just did that little Chucky. There is a small but annoyingly vocal contingent of some fans who think it's just too funny. It's like you've made it too much like Cedar.
You got it right.
Did I? Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, I had a question for Fiona, actually. You technically have to play your dad in all his mannerisms. So did you study tapes or did you just remember? I'll pass you my mic because it's way
John
easier.
Mancini, will you pass me your mic?
Did I? No, I did. Well, I had an interesting conversation with my dad, which was like, I didn't want to imitate him, but I kept on. So Don and I have become really good friends since Curse of Chucky, and we've spent holidays together. And when I laugh sometimes, he was like, "That's it. That's the character. That's it. That's the cackle. Do that. Do that." Because we had the plot in mind for maybe he had the plot in mind, and I had to I like to give my opinions.
As they all do. And I welcome everyone's opinions. This movie was extremely collaborative.
Super collaborative, yeah, it was really collaborative. And I didn't want to imitate my dad. And I had a couple conversations with him that were interesting about what makes Charles Ray tick, and then tried to do my own thing. And Charles Ray's just a dick, and he loves his job, and that's it.
Okay, one quick question for Tony Gardner, and then we'll pass it on to you folks. Tony.
To everybody, yeah.
Yeah, to everybody, yes. With puppeteering 3 different puppets, how do you get the mouths to sync up first? Is there like a process to... Yeah, okay. As simple as you can answer.
Okay, well, what we do is we make Don Mancini deliver the lines of dialogue into a tape recorder. And then we take that and we put it into Charles Lee Ray's cadence. And then we dump that into the animatronic heads. Sort of like a stenographer would, use your hand to record dialogue. We're recording the movements of the mouth, the phonetic mouth shapes, while the dialogue's playing. And then we can go back in the computer after we've locked that in, but we can fine tune it so that we can get the specifics of the phonetics right. And then we have to designate each line to a different puppet, and then we have to lock that in, and then we go on set. It's like, fortunately at that point we have all the dialogue down, so we don't have to angst out about making sure everything's right and blowing a take on not getting that O or this P or whatever, and then we focus on the performance. And the performance is the tricky part because we're trying to figure out how to make 3 specific characters. But what was cool was Don had a sense of who they all were, and in the very beginning he said, they're really brothers. They're the same guy, but they're brothers, and there's the new guy. And when Brad did the vocalization, he has Buzzcut's voice cracking and stuff like that. So there were a lot of little layers that helped designate who was who, but we only had so many puppeteers. So we were filming each guy separately, and Doug had to keep track of which one was where, when, and how everything overlapped, and where the camera sat. And
it was as mind-bending for us at times doing it as it is for the audience. Like, who is this guy and what? And I just I want to say about Doug. For me, it was such a great luxury as a director that Doug, our first AD, is also a director himself, and so he's just yet another person that I can go to and seek his advice and his input. And do you think I'm doing this right? And he would go, yes. Now get on with it quickly.
All right,
Let's turn it out to the audience. Does anyone have any questions? There's one right there.
Okay, it's particularly thrilling to watch this film as a queer person, seeing these queer identities out on screen, and also a disabled character presented as a sexual being, finally, not as inspiration piece. What's it like, though, to bring marginalized identities to life within the genre film?
The question was, what's it like to bring marginalized identities to life within the genre of the film?
Well, thank you for that question, Raymond. Raymond's a friend of mine. We planned to that. Very good. It is a good question, though. Actually, you know, there was one review of the film I read last week, which actually wasn't even a particularly great review. It was one of the middling ones. We're actually doing really well. The last time I checked, we were at 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. We're proud of that. Second film in the series. Anyway, this review said, reciting that aspect of it, it said, "Cult of Chucky is woke as fuck." And I was very flattered about that. And the other aspect about it they cited as woke was that the character Carlos was a just casually Latino gay guy who just happens to be there. He actually had an entire storyline, which we had to cut. Not my idea to cut it.
Give it to Zach to talk.
Let's have Zach talk about it. That's a great idea.
Hi Fiona, hi Dawn. Hello Toronto. Hello fans of Chucky. This is how we do it. What a blessing to work with Don Mancini and be welcomed into this cult with all of you all. It's amazing. Yeah, I was so excited. I've been a fan of the franchise, and when I read the part, the character in the script, Carlos was definitely a rich character. But yeah, those notes that our audience member asked, there's nothing that is being played sentimentally about any of these characters. So just, yeah, these are real people, and that's actually how we live, right? We're all real people. We do this shit. And I do know that Carlos is sort of based on a friend of Don's in his life, so that added an extra layer of texture for me to know that he always puts, like, in case you guys haven't realized over the last, I don't know how many years he's been making these movies, there's a bit of himself in every character, in every script, in every scene. Whether we live or die, there's part of this man inside it. So Carlos was an homage to a friend of his, so that just gave added pleasure for me as a performer and an artist to try to bring some of that to life. So, it's Cult of Chucky, what's up?
Do check out his scenes on the DVD. I won't tell you exactly, but it's an interesting storyline. It intersected with Allie's storyline. She lost a little bit too. And this same review, I was very happy to see that it said, she has a whole life going on. And it said that Ellie created a character who was the anti-Nurse Ratched, that she's like this compassionate person. And you can see, so I like that. Hopefully, that these scenes are getting more attention than if they had stayed in the movie.
Nice. Does anyone else have any questions? Oh, right there.
Yeah, if you had to choose any other slasher icon for Chucky to
Freddy.
Have you been asked that question before?
I've been asked that question. I have given my whole pitch for it. Freddy versus Chucky. Child's Play on Elm Street. Chucky, it's a horror version of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Chucky ends up in the bedroom of some kid on Elm Street. He falls asleep. Yes, there's an answer to a question like wondering, does Chucky sleep and dream? He does. He meets Freddy in the dream world, and they're kind of fans of each other. I like your technique. I've always been a fan. But then they realize Elm Street's not big enough for the two of them, so they have a contest. Whoever can kill the most kids before sunrise gets to say. And I would pay to see that, right?
Nice. I think we have time for two more. Down here? Okay, yes. Right there. Sure. You, sir.
Yes. Okay, so
Pause.
First and foremost, I just want to say fantastic film.
Thank you so much.
Amazing franchise. I gotta ask, what happened to Glenn/Glenda?
Yeah, Dawn.
I love Glenn Glenda. We had references to Glenn and Glenda in the script. I'm unfortunately not a Final Cut director. Here I am, 54 fucking years old. I don't have Final Cut. Very hard to get Final Cut, but this is something that they made me cut. But there was a reference to it. I love those characters. It's really gratifying to me as a gay guy that just to see as the years have gone on that like young gay people will tweet to me and say how much that character meant to them, and I love that. I hope to bring Glenn back sometime, but it was in the car at the end when the two girls get in and Jennifer looks sad and Nika slash Chucky says, what? And she's like, I feel just feeling bad about Alice. You know, ever since Glenn ran off with his boyfriend and Glenda went to prison, you know, it's kind of nice having us around. But anyway, they made me cut it, but I hope to bring him back sometime.
Cool.
Nice. Okay, one more question. Anyone?
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah, right here. Hey man, you're looking pretty good. Like, you made these movies in 1988 and looking pretty good. What's your diet like?
What's that?
Yeah, what kind of diet you on?
The question is, you look good for someone who's been making movies so long.
Have you ever seen Death Becomes Her? The potion, right? The potion. Wait, before we wrap up, can I very quickly, because I want to give everyone a chance to say something. This is Marina Kerr. We first met on Channel Zero in season 1, where she played Mrs. Booth, and we had, say something quickly about that.
It was the middle of the night, and there was this handsome, brooding man. I didn't know you were gay till just now, so super disappointed. And I said, well, who's that? And someone, well, that's Don Mancini, and he's one of the writers, and he's just arrived. So I went and introduced myself, and he was still brooding, and every time I asked for help, brooding. Every time I asked for, now with my character, because the character had a long storyline, so I would check in with him. So where is she now? Am I right that she's here? And one night he turned to me, and I asked him a specific question, and he went, no! Yes, remember this? And he said he doesn't remember that he was that firm and that angry, and I didn't take it personally. And no, you were firm that I was wrong in my question. And I thought, okay, I was totally off base. And then I worked with him on Chucky and found out that that is just a conviction of a man that is the sweetest man in Hollywood.
I'm just like passing the mic so I can get compliments. Adam!
Give me a compliment.
What can we say? No, he doesn't have to compliment me. But anyway,
well, we can do something that would be really
there was like all this speculation before the movie came out. Who is Adam playing? Wait, he got killed in the last movie. What the fuck? What's going on? And so there were all these like theories, like, oh, maybe he's Glenn or Glenda. People like thought that, and I like let's let them think that. I was just worried, are they going to be finding anticlimactic that he's just playing another character? He's a great actor. Didn't you think it was great? Because he had to play 3 different guys. Remember at one point in pre-production, I had some lame idea where I thought, you know, Adam, maybe you should just like sort of play it all the same. And Adam's like going, that's not going to happen. I think we have to say something about Grace. Grace, who plays Claire. The scene with the glass and the decapitation, we had a great time planning and executing that. So clever. And Grace is such a precision actor that I can put the camera on her and it's like I want to have a tear, and she can produce tears at will. My choice, which eye. I mean, seriously, it's just like insane. But also, like, but one of the things I think we're both very proud of is that a number of people in reviews have mentioned that scene has a little bit of emotion, actually. It's like you feel bad for this person. I mean, one of the things we all try to do is like make all of these people real, and then like there's pain. You know, there's a lot of pain going on in this movie. I was depressed when I wrote it, I guess. And so I was very conscious of having to push all the actors to tears at one point or another, and then I just, am I just a sadistic fuck? Anyway, she did great.
I feel you kind of pulled it back, because when I auditioned, also my death was different when I auditioned. I was being like chased around by Chucky, and then he dumped water. I was getting waterboarded, and then I got electrocuted, and then I got
and
set
burst into
fire.
flames.
Yeah, I burst into flames. So I'm taping this audition tape at my friend's house that he's house sitting at in Eagle Rock in California, and I'm screaming in a residential neighborhood. I'm just like, throwing myself around in a chair, being like, "Wah!" Like it was insane, but it was such a fucking special audition. It was like, you don't get to do that all the time. And then when I met Don, he was like, okay, I think we're gonna change it. And I was like, when my agent told me, I was like so crushed, because I was like, oh, it's so beautiful, it's gonna be amazing. And then Don started to talk me through what ended up being what you guys saw, and I was like, it's beautiful, and the way that it was shot. Like, Dawn and I talked a lot when we were prepping just about our love of film, and we got into you know, we were talking about like Leave Her to Heaven, like just talking about architecture, and I saw, like, it was the first time that I seen it here, and it was so beautiful. It was just beautifully shot, and I felt like watching it. It was so clear, your love of film, your love of all genres and filmmaking and acting. Yeah, and I feel like even in that gruesome death scene, that there was so much beauty, and it was such a pleasure to die that way. Yeah, I'm just worried about my mom seeing it.
And Michael Terrio wins the award for the actor who's least like his character. But Michael, tell them about the shoe scene.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite story actually. So we were shooting the scene with the red shoes, and you know, it was really intense. And the thing is that the shoes too, at the last moment they couldn't use the shoes they wanted. They had to lacquer another pair of shoes. There was a reason, I can't remember. And so they didn't have a lot of give. So I knew as I was putting these shoes on Fiona's feet that it was going to be troublesome. And, you know, I just took that for granted. But after the camera's rolling for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm trying to get the shoes on,
It's like a very intense. It's an intense two-shot where we're both really in pain for like several minutes.
Yeah, we're watching behind the monitors, and it's like, God, this is taking a long time. And it's like, and then we realize, oh, he's trying to put the wrong shoe on her foot.
We're really fucking in it, me and you, for just a long.
Like way too long, just going on and on.
It just went on for minutes and minutes, and they're both staying in the scene. And finally, he squeezes his left shoe onto her right foot.
And Fiona goes, Michael, they're on the wrong feet.
But he just kind of like, you know, they're still in the scene, and then Michael kind of goes, as if like on his face it looked like, and now to the next shoe.
That was awesome.
All right, Professor Foley, whatever the fuck.
Professor Foley.
It was an amazing time. It was the best year.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut this off. We have another screening coming at midnight. But
he doesn't want to take over. We're going to talk.
You can go to the pub after this. They'll be there. You can talk to them there and ask all the questions you want. Be nice about it. If you still want to get your photo taken, you can go to the top of the stairs with the photo wall. I hope you had a great time. Please give them a big round of applause.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for coming out.